Okay, so I already owned a wire stripper, and I just went ahead and just used the smallest hole here and just stripped, about 1/8 of an inch of wire off. I mean, insulation off the wire. And next I'm going to insert this terminal on the end, and then I'm going to use that same tool to crimp it. And then after that, this was a heat shrink terminal, which I'd never used before. I thought I could use a hair dryer, so I was experimenting earlier, and I used my wife's hair dryer. It did not work. It didn't shrink this at all. Went on the internet and found out, yep, sure enough, hair dryers just aren't hot enough. But the poor man's solution was to use a candle, or I'm planning on using a lighter here. I did a couple of tests in the house, and it worked really well with just the lighter. So let me get this together. Okay, I just got done. I just crimped that on there, and when I had two hands free, I pulled it a little bit to say, it's good and snug. It's crimped in there real tight. Now I'm gonna get my lighter out and just kind of heat this all up to where it shrinks around there real tight. And let me go ahead. Okay, guys, I'm back. It's been a few minutes. I had to roll it's kind of windy out here. I'm out here in the driveway. I had rolled the bike out here just to have a little more light for this video, but the wind was making it hard to get that heat shrink tubing shrunk with the lighter. The wind was blowing the flame around, so I rolled it into the garage. And this is the actually the third one I've done now. I did two earlier, but what I've been learning is if you're using a lighter, you really got to just get that flame right up on it. It's got to get really hot to shrink. But and also this stuff, it's got glue in it too. So I mean, it bonds on there really tight. It keeps the wire secure. It provides some strain relief. And this is cool stuff. I've never used these before today, but I'm impressed. So so there I go. So I'm going to plug these back in. Then I'm going to screw this guy on there, and the problem should be solved. That's the theory. Okay, I plugged the plugs back in, screwed my ground connection on to this bolt right here, and I'm going to turn the ignition on, and if this is working, connected properly and everything, I should get that temp light coming on for a few seconds, just like it always does. Ta-da! Alright, now I think what I'm going to do next is take a scrap of wire and make a short over here, simulating the engine getting real hot, and like I was talking about earlier, and make sure that temperature light comes on like it's supposed to, just to make sure with my new ground wire that I haven't changed anything inadvertently. Not that I'm really too worried about it, but I just like to check it all out real thoroughly. So unfortunately I can't show you this on the camera, but what I'm going to do, I just pull this back a little bit to expose some of the prong, or whatever you call it, on the indicator unit. You got to, actually an easy way to do this would be just take this off completely and shove your here. If you can just take a piece of wire like this and shove it in there. Yeah. This is really tough with one hand, and it's so simple with two. Shove that guy in here. Get in there. And then just take this and ground it, and the temperature light should come on. Maybe I can show this. Okay, alright, temperature light's off. I'm gonna ground this guy, and ta-da, temperature light's on. Here, if I take the wire off, see? There you go. So now I know, my temperature indicator circuit's still working properly. Let me go ahead and plug this back on. I'll get my indicator plugged back up. Alright. That should be it. Now let's turn the bike on. And gonna have to wait for that fan to start kicking in again. Try and get this thing heated up a little bit. This whole process has taken me 15 minutes just because I'm slow, and I had to go in the house and look for the wire cutters, usual stuff. So anyway, the point is the engine's cooled down a little bit. So I'm probably just going to turn this camera off. I'm still waiting for the fan to come on. I pushed this down a little bit. This was kind of up in the holder, but anyway, I think it looks pretty good. Almost looks like it was made to be this way. And I had thought maybe I was going to have to cut this back to get that wire out, but I didn't. Whenever I was clipping this wire, I was able to just pull that back and get some wire. And it really, I've actually got a little more length here than I need. But that's about perfect. I'm really happy with that. I'm very confident this is going to work, but the proof will be in the pudding here any moment as soon as this fan kicks on. When I was doing this, I took the seat off just for so I could have easier access to this area, and also because I had that flame. I was heating that up with the flame to get that heat shrink tubing on. I really didn't want to have an open flame right next to my seat. I didn't want to burn a hole in the seat. Anyway, come on, fan. I've got the stock exhaust on here. This thing had some Jardine rumblers on it when I bought it, but the guy had never rejetted the carbs, and it did the popping like crazy on deceleration. So I didn't like it, and I didn't like the noise either. So I got the stock ones put back on. Come on, fan. This is some boring video here. I'll probably edit this out, maybe. Oh, here's something else I can mention. So I don't know, man. I'm always getting shoe rubber on here when I guess from putting down the kickstand. Okay, there the fan's on. All right, here we go. Let's turn that blinker on. Ta-da! No temp light flashing. So that's it. I do believe the problem is solved. I still, I'm a little interested what's going to happen if I take it out on a hot day and get it real hot and everything. I still am pretty confident this is solved now. I think at worst, I might have to move this over here because I think the wire, I think this wire here actually is the one coming back from the ground on the thermostat housing. So I mean, if I hook this up here, it'll be attached to the exact same point. I really don't think an inch here of brass or whatever that is going to make much difference. But yeah, that fan's on again, and blinkers are on. No temperature light. So I'll be posting this up on YouTube and linking to it on the v4musclebike.com in the Generation 3 Magna forum, and I'll post some follow-ups on there if I ever do run into any issue with it. I think that's it, though. There were some reports in a Triumph forum. They've basically got the exact same issue. And that kind of like led me to this solution. So, anyhow, oh, one last thing. What I was going to say about the shoe rubber. I looked on the internet as far as that goes. What I read most commonly was to use Easy Off oven cleaner, and I can attest that it works awesome. I'll spray that on there tonight, and it'll take some elbow grease. Probably not much though, because that doesn't look too bad. The last time it was a lot worse. But anyway, it'll come off. Unfortunately, on the other side, I got a little too aggressive. I had kind of a rough, scratchy pad, and had kind of a stubborn area, and I marred up the chrome a little bit with the scratchy pad. It had nothing to do with the Easy Off. So the Easy Off's fine. Just when you're taking it, when you're in the morning, you know, when you're taking it off, just use something, a cloth that. A cloth. You want to use a rough, scratchy pad like I did. Learn from my mistake.